हा संवाद आहे. संवाद असला तर त्यामुळे तुमच्याकडून फीडबॅक नाही आला त्यामुळे तुम्ही ठरवा. माझं प्रेझेंटेशन संवाद आहे. चॉईस इज ऑल युअर्स. मला प्रेझेंटेशनला फक्त 5 मिनिटं लागतील, पण संवाद असला तर त्याला वेळ लागू शकतो. त्यामुळे तुम्ही ठरवा तुम्हाला भूक लागली का संवाद आहे. अमृत काळ, चॉईस इज ऑल युअर्स, इज डिवायडेड इन 2 वर्ड्स आहेत ते, अमृत आणि काळ. अमृत काळ, तो आपण अमृत काळाचा एक मोठा एक शब्द, डिवायडेड इन 2 वर्ड्स आहेत ते. व्हॉट इज द कन्सेप्ट बिहाइंड इट? तो आपण अमृत काळाचा एक मोठा एक शब्द घेतो. आपण ज्या पुराणात व्हॉट इज द कन्सेप्ट बिहाइंड, घटिका गेली पळी गेली, तर असे आपले लहानपणी गाणी होती. आपण ज्या पुराणात घटिका गेली पळी गेली आयुष्यात, असे आपले लहानपणी गाणी होती आम्हाला वगैरे, पळी गेली घटिका गेली जस्ट ट्राय टू आयुष्यात वगैरे. व्हाय नॉट गो बॅक टू समथिंग जस्ट ट्राय टू थॉट की लेट अस नॉट, व्हाय नॉट गो बॅक टू समथिंग व्हिच वी नेव्हर लर्न. एक पापणी जेव्हा 60 पळ आपण म्हणतो, एक पापणी जेव्हा 60 पळाचे घटिका होते. याच्यात आपली तुम्हाला एक घटिकाचा आयडिया यायला लागतात. मला काळ म्हणजे मला काळ काळ म्हणजे आपला काय एक्सपेक्ट आहे. 67 घटिका म्हणजे रिलेटिव्ह 8 म्हणजे 1 दिवस 30 दिवस म्हणजे 1 मास 2 मास म्हणजे 1 ऋतू म्हणजे 1 आयन म्हणजे 2 आयन म्हणजे 1 वर्ष मानवाचं, जे आपण ज्याला म्हणतो कॅलेंडर इयर टिपिकली. आता ग्रेगरियन म्हणा किंवा कुठलंही म्हणा, त्याकडे फरक पडत नाही. जुलियन म्हणा, ॲज अ केस मध्ये. आणि 1 मानव वर्ष म्हणजे 1 देव दिवस, असं त्याचं लॉजिक आहे. साधारण 360 मानव वर्ष म्हणजे देवाचा 1 वर्ष. आणि साधारणतः या 1 देवाच्या वर्षाला काळ असं म्हटलं जातं पुराणामध्ये. सो when we talk about अमृत काल, so we are not talking about just next 25 years. We are talking about almost next 400 plus years. So essentially it is not that I have to just go on the Everest top and then done with. No. It will be an ongoing process, right? And this is the concept, this is the vision behind it. आता त्यात दुसरा शब्द आहे अमृत. व्हॉट इज अमृत? तर हे चौघडे आहेत. आपल्या ज्या मुहूर्त असतात, चौघडे असतात, तसे 7 चौघडे आहेत. कुठले कुठले? अमृत, शुभ, लाभ, चल, उद्वेग, काल आणि रोग. अच्छा, याच्यामध्ये सगळ्यात उत्तम मुहूर्त किंवा उत्तम कुठला असेल तर अमृत, ज्याला अमृत सिद्धी म्हणतो. वेअर देर इज नथिंग विच कॅनॉट बी डन. तुम्ही त्या क्षणाला जर तुम्ही एखादी गोष्ट चालू केली तर अशी कुठलीच गोष्ट राहते जी तुम्हाला मिळू शकत नाही. एव्हरीथिंग व्हॉट एव्हर यू डिझायर इज पॉसिबल. अँड दॅट इज हाऊ दिस अमृत वर्ड इज कमिंग फ्रॉम. आणि अमृत काळ या दोघांचा एकत्र करून आणलेला भाग आहे. सो व्हॉट वी आर लुकिंग ॲट अमृत काळ इज next 400 plus years we want to do, achieve whatever we dream of. We are not limiting ourselves. आता चालू कधी झाला तर साधारण 15 ऑगस्ट 22. आणि कारण काय, जर आपण म्हणतो की विकसित भारत ॲज 2047 असं आपलं नाव टायटल होतं, तर 37 साली काय होणार आहे? एनीवन? 2047 साली काय होणार आहे? 100 वर्ष पूर्ण होणार आहेत. मग आपल्याला जर अमृत काळामध्ये जर प्रवेश करायचा असेल, इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू टेक 1 year. आज नाही की आज मी रट्टा मारला, उद्या पेपर दिला आणि परवा पास झालो. इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू हॅपन लाईक दॅट. Essentially we will have to work very hard for it, and that is the reason we are targeting this 25 years period to achieve the Amrut Kal. And that is the reason why we said this is, don't call it Amrut Kal, call it a Kartavya Kal. Take it a responsibility that you are responsible. See, that is the reason. Next 25 years we are done. All the front ventures we are done. You will be the responsible for those 25 years to make advantage of this. So question is, what you mean by Amrut Kal, right? What Amrut Kal मध्ये मला काय मिळणार आहे? हे सगळं कशाकरता चालू आहे? Wealth and prosperity, fame, recognition. As you say, now you go to outside and you say I'm Indian. People know, yes, there is a country called as India. I had seen it physically. People know. Even if you were wearing sari, they can understand, hey, you are from India. So fame, recognition, happy and fulfilling life. Spiritual awakening, enlightenment, as you see in the morning, we had Sri Ravi Shankarji telling you art of living, art of life. The way you live is also going to help, because there is a lot of mind power which helps you in achieving whatever you are looking at. So as I said, what is the purpose of this Amrut Kal? So better life of citizen. Essentially, it's not about you or me anymore. It's all about the citizen of the entire India, right from the farmer to Tata Birla Ambani. Everybody, all the strata, all the people in all the strata of the life. Bridge development gap between urban and rural. इंग्लो सर म्हणाले की we came from this Amravati area जिकडे आम्हाला इंडस्ट्री नाही आहे. We want to bridge that gap. We want the industry to be here. Why only in Bombay? Why only in Pune? Why only in Nagpur? Why not in Amravati? Use technology for rendering services and benefits. Now, if you see, even after 75 years of independence, अजूनही ज्याला आपण मलमूत्र साफ करण्याची गोष्ट आहे ती अजूनही हाताने केली जाते. काही काही ठिकाणी अजूनही वी आर नॉट एबल टू क्रिएट द टेक्नॉलॉजीज फॉर दॅट. There are many things which people are doing which they are not supposed to do. So essentially we have to use technology for that. Develop indigenous state of art technologies. आज आपल्याला काही हवं असेल, कुठलाही मोबाईल घेतला, मेड इन चायना, डिझाइन इन ताइवान, कमिंग फ्रॉम जपान, मेक इन USA. We have to start our own manufacturing of technologies, not the product. What we are currently doing, somebody can tell me, sir, तो MI चा फोन तिकडे चेन्नईला बनतो, फॉक्सकॉन मध्ये. तो फक्त बनवतात, असेंबल करतात. देयर इज अ डिफरन्स बिटवीन द टू. टेक्नॉलॉजी अजूनही तिकडून येते, आपण फक्त असेंबल करतो. वी हॅव टू स्टार्ट आवर ओन टेक्नॉलॉजी ओव्हर हिअर. आता हाऊ मेनी आर फ्रॉम इलेक्ट्रॉनिक बॅकग्राउंड? 1, 2, 3, that's it. So rest are from computer? How many from computer background? Oh, many. Good. So from where your microcontroller chips are coming from? Anyone? Taiwan. Anybody else? Where are your microchips, microprocessors जे आपण म्हणतो, where they are coming from? Which country? Anyone? As I said, there is संवाद, right? नाही तर विसंवाद व्हायचा. Indonesia, Taiwan, China. Why? Because we are not able to manufacture it. Why? Because there was no technology available. Things have changed since 1991 when we started globalization. But even then, key technologies are not given to Indians. Now, I come from a defense background. We work a lot of work for Indian Air Force, Indian Army, Navy. What we are manufacturing as of today is nuts, bolts. Electronic hardcore technology is still coming from them. They are supplying the electronic parts. They are not giving us the technology to manufacture, even manufacture. Forget about technology transfer. They are not even ready to give you for manufacturing. They keep all the technologies with them. GPS. Anybody knows GPS? Who is there who doesn't know GPS? Everybody knows, right? Does anyone know India has also equivalent capability of GPS? What is called as? Sorry? Navik. Perfect. There's only one more name. What exactly Navik does? Any idea? Has anyone used Navik? No. Navik is far better, superior than the GPS. The GPS requires minimum 12 satellites to give accuracy of 2 meters. 2 meters is 6 feet, roughly. Whereas our Navik requires only 4 satellites to give you that. And with 12 satellites, which are still in pipeline, maybe about 2030, we will be able to do that. We are targeting the accuracy of 1 centimeter. So you can pinpoint your location on the earth in 1 centimeter. Why? Because that is our own technology. India has developed that technology. So now we are no more dependent on GPS, which is US based, or a GLONASS, which is a Russian system, for even navigation of our own airplanes. Which, if you are not in line with their thinking, they can simply cut off services. They can just scramble their codes and you will not be able to maneuver. So essentially, you got to have your own state-of-art technologies. That kind of confusion ourselves, the bindas vichara, because there are some things which are essential to understand what we are doing this. So what are the requirements for being called as developed India? विकसनशील भारत पासून विकसित भारत. याचे रिक्वायरमेंट्स काय? हायर ह्युमन इंडेक्स, हायर पर कॅपिटल इन्कम, हायर क्वालिटी ऑफ लाईफ, हायर लेवल ऑफ इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर अँड हायर लेवल ऑफ एज्युकेशन. आपण एक डिटेलमध्ये बघू. Okay, before that, Can somebody tell me what is human index? आपण सगळ्यात इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स मध्ये VI कॅरेक्टर्स म्हटलं की आपण लगेच चालू करतो. But what is human index? Can somebody tell me? Heard this word human index? Anybody who has heard this word human index? Why you think America is better than India? Anyone? Nobody thinks that America is better. So everybody is going to stay in India? Yes, good for me, good for you all. But then still, people have gone to Europe, people have gone to America. Why they are gone? Anybody? Can you think of why we say American life is better or Europe life is better than us? Anybody? Come on, think over it. You have to start thinking. Unless and until you ask questions to yourself, to everything which is happening around, it's not going to happen. See, I remember न्यूटन, राईट, झाडाखाली बसला होता. वरतून त्याच्या डोक्यावरती सफरचंद पडला असं म्हणतात. माहिती आहे ना का? कोणाला माहिती? आता डायरेक्ट मी असलं काय केलं असतं, खाल्लं असं निघून गेलो असतं. ते का पडलं मला काय देणं घेणं आहे? कारण मी प्रश्न नाही विचारले ना, त्यांनी विचारले म्हणून तो प्रसिद्ध झाला. सो यू हॅव टू आस्क क्वेश्चन्स. क्वेश्चन्स इज द ओनली थिंग विच विल लीड टू बेटर आन्सर्स, बेटर फ्युचर्स. So human index consists of 4 things. Typically, better life expectancy. You are not supposed to die at 40. You are not supposed to die at 50. You should ideal life is about 72. अगदी आपण पुराणात गेलो तर 200-300 वर्ष सुद्धा जगायचे. महाभारत 120 वर्षी लढलं होतं असं म्हणतात. So we had a far better expectancy in the past. Currently we are very poor. Our average life is about 52-53. So you should have higher, better life expectancy. Infant mortality. India is only ahead of African countries in case of infant mortality. Right? Can anybody tell me what you mean by infant mortality? Anybody? No? Infant mortality means what? बाल मृत्यू दर. बाल मृत्यू दर आपल्याकडे अजूनही आपण फक्त आफ्रिकेला थोडेसे वरती आहोत. आफ्रिकेमध्ये खूप जास्त आहे. मी त्यांच्याकडे तर जवळजवळ 100, प्रत्येक 1000 मुलांमध्ये जवळ 101 मुलं ही लहान असताना, लहान म्हणजे 1 ते 3 वर्षाची असताना त्यांचा मृत्यू होतो. आपल्याकडे साधारणतः ते प्रमाण 30 पर्यंत आहे. आता तुम्ही म्हणाल मुंबई पुण्याला असं कधी होत नाही. हा मी पूर्ण भारताचा विचार करतोय. तो दॅट नीड्स टू बी इम्प्रूव्ह. माल न्यूट्रिशन. तर मी जेव्हा शाळेत होतो, मराठी येत होतो, आपण मुर्दूस नावाचा हे कसे फोटो असायचा. माल न्यूट्रिशन आता दत्ताचा आहे का नाही मला माहित नाही, पण एक तुम्ही विचार करा, एक 8 वर्षाचं मुलगा, त्याचा टोटल जर तुम्ही साईज बघितला तर वजन 10-15 किलो पण नाही आहे. आणि या गोष्टी अजूनही भारतात होत आहेत. वी आर व्हेरी, दॅट्स व्हाय वी आर व्हेरी व्हेरी फॉर्च्युनेट दॅट वी केम फ्रॉम बॅकग्राऊंड वेअर वी कॅन इव्हन अफोर्ड टू हॅव डिसेंट मील ट्वाइस. देर आर पीपल हू कॅन इव्हन एकदा सुद्धा जेवायचे प्रॉब्लेम आहेत त्यांचे. त्यामुळे आपणाला तुझा दत्तात्रय म्हणाला की यू शुड बी, तुमच्या आई वडिलांचे ज्याने तुम्हाला एक चांगलं आयुष्य दिलेलं आहे त्यांचे तुम्ही आभार मानायला पाहिजेत. तर हा एक इम्प्रूव्हमेंट करणं, माल न्यूट्रिशन आणि रोग, लो डिसीजेस. पोलिओ, जसं आपण म्हणतो की पोलिओ मुक्त भारतात आपण गेली 15 वर्ष प्रयत्न करतोय पोलिओ मुक्त भारत व्हायचा. कारण का, तर आपल्याकडे लोक औषध देत नाहीत. असं नाही की आपल्याला औषध नाही आहेत, पण आपण ग्रामीण भागात अजूनही पोहोचू शकलो नाही जिकडे तुम्हाला ही औषध दिली गेली पाहिजे. तर ह्या 4 गोष्टी जर आपण अचीव्ह केल्या तर वी विल बी इन हायर ह्युमन इंडेक्स. नुसते पैसे असून उपयोग नाही आहे. तुमच्याकडे खूप पैसे आहेत पण तुमचा मुलगा वयाच्या 10व्या वर्षी मेला, 3ऱ्या वर्षी मेला. तुमच्याकडे खूप पैसे, तुमचे आई वडील मेला. आता कोविडमध्ये आपण खूप ठिकाणी बघितलं, आई वडील गेले, पैसे आहेत पण पुढे बघणारा कोणी नाही. सो इसेन्शियली ह्युमन इंडेक्स इज ऑल्सो इक्वली इम्पॉर्टंट. पर कॅपिटा इन्कम. पर कॅपिटा इन्कम म्हणजे काय? द ग्रॉस डोमेस्टिक प्रोडक्ट ऑफ द एंटायर कंट्री इज डिवाइडेड बाय पॉप्युलेशन. इट्स as simple as mathematics. Now what it takes to be a developed country, you should have about $22,000, about 18 lakhs rupees per annum average income. आपण आता कुठे आहोत? 2610. फक्त हा आपला ॲव्हरेज पर कॅपिटल इन्कम आहे. दॅट्स द रिझन वी आर टार्गेटिंग 25 years बिकॉज वी हॅव टू क्रॉस दिस 2610 to 22,000 and maybe perhaps till 2047 it could be little higher also because they are also developed and they will keep on developing, right? Next, quality of life. What do you mean by quality of life? You have to have enough wealth to live happily. तुम्हाला जगण्याकरता जे लागतं तेवढं पुरायला पाहिजे. हाव किती असली तरी चालेल, पण जेवढं जगायला लागतं तेवढं असलं पाहिजे सगळ्यांकडे. पुन्हा तेच हा विषय जो आहे हा थोडा मोठा आहे, कारण हा सगळ्यांशी रिलेटेड आहे. हा तुमचा माझ्याशी माझा इंडिव्हिज्युअल नाही की मला घरी आहे ना बाबा काही नाही केलं तरी आता आई वडील रिटायर पेन्शन मिळतं त्यांना माझं चालतंय. हा विचार तसा नाही आहे. सेफ एन्व्हायरमेंट टू ब्रीथ. आता आपण वाचतो दर दिवाळी आली की दिल्लीमध्ये एअर पोल्युशनच्या बोंबा चालू होतात. वाय? व्हेकल एमिशन, अदर थिंग कन्स्ट्रक्शन एमिशन, आणि काही नाही चान्स मिळाला तर पंजाबमध्ये दुसरं गव्हर्नमेंट असेल तर पंजाबचे शेतकरी जाळतात. म्हणून ॲट द एंड ऑफ द डे फॉर एव्हरी कॉमन सिटीजन प्रत्येक माणसाकडे काय असतं? ही शुड हॅव वर्क लाईफ बॅलन्स. थँक्स टू कोविड people have started working from home, but sorry to say it has actually created a misbalance. आता मी स्वतः इंडस्ट्रीमधून आहे, आमच्याकडून ज्या गोष्टी होतात, we always say earlier you used to work 8 hours in the office, 2 hours travel and 2 hours travel, so 4 hours. Since you are working from home, why not work for 12 hours including those travel time because you saved. So that work life balance has to be maintained for all. Opportunity for recreation, leisure. As I said, people have to go, people have to also spend time with family and they should have opportunity. Practicing of religion, तुमचा जो काही धर्म आहे, तुमचा जो काही स्वभाव असेल ते स्वतःला मोकळीक असली पाहिजे काही करण्याची. सेफ्टी, सिक्युरिटी, वी शुड बी सेफ अँड सिक्युअर इन युअर कंट्री. जसं आता आपण म्हणतो की टिपिकली दिल्ली इज वन सेफ फॉर वुमन. वाय? एखाद्याकडे कुठे म्हणतो की दिस एरिया इज अनसेफ, येत असतात की जम्मू काश्मीर should be avoided for certain reasons. So as long as these things stands, we will not be able to achieve quality life. High level of infrastructure. जपान म्हटलं की आपल्याला शिंजो आठवतात, बुलेट ट्रेन्स, आणि आपण आपल्याकडे बुलेट ट्रेन म्हटलं की आपण पॉलिटिक्स करत बसतो. सो अनलेस अँड अनटिल, आता जसं मी सर म्हटलं की अमरावती is little far from the main cities. Now if you want the industry to come here, there has to be connectivity. I have to reach within 1 hour from Nagpur or maybe 5 hours from Bombay here if I want to start the industry. The same is applicable if I produce here. For example, इकडे तुमच्याकडे कापूस येतो साधारण विदर्भामध्ये, सेफ, खराब होत नाही पटकन पाऊस पडला नाही तर, पण फळभाज्या आहेत, पेरिशेबल लाईफ ज्याला आपण म्हणतो, त्यामुळे त्याला कनेक्टिव्हिटी पाहिजे, अदरवाईज ते तिकडे ग्रो होणार नाही. सो ट्रान्सपोर्ट फॅसिलिटीज, अकोमोडेशन, पॉवर अवेलेबिलिटी. आपल्याकडे तुम्ही बघितलं की विदर्भामध्ये मॅक्सिमम पॉवर जनरेशन विदर्भात होते, पण मॅक्सिमम लोड शेडिंग पण विदर्भातलं होतं. सो आय एम नॉट हिअर कॉमेंटिंग ऑन पॉलिटिक्स, बट द थिंग इज इफ यू वॉन्ट टू बी कॉल्ड विकसित, यू हॅव टू अचीव ऑल दोज थिंग्स. ओनली देन यू कॅन अचीव इट. So, who are the main stakeholders in getting Bharat a Vikasit Bharat? As I said, government is one of the major stakeholders. Industry is another NGOs, non-government organization, not for profit. Like by the airport संस्था पण तो NGOs आहे, संस्था नाही तुमचे. So that is also one part of where we can come into picture. And most importantly, citizens. So nothing, all of the top three cannot achieve without the support of you all, youth. As I said, we are gone. You have next 30 years, 34, 40 years in front of you, where you can actually reap benefit of this. So what industry is doing, right? हा प्रश्न आहे की आपण तुम्ही हे सगळं बोललात, पण याच्याकरता गव्हर्नमेंट काय करताय? वी आर सीइंग इन द डेली इन द न्यूजपेपर. आय डोंट वॉन्ट टू गेट इनटू ऑल दोज थिंग, बट व्हॉट इंडस्ट्री इज डुईंग. So there is a lot of R&D is being done. Research and development करता खूप पैसे जात आहेत. There is a lot of capital investment is done. More things are getting sustainable and higher technological implementation. हे खूप बाउन्सर होता का? चेहऱ्यावरून वाटतंय त्याला. हायर एक्सपोर्ट्स. कारण पैसे जे येतात, आपण ज्याला गंगाजळी म्हणतो मराठी भाषेत. सो एनी नॅशनल वेल्थ इज टू बी कन्सिडर्ड टुडे विथ हाऊ मच US dollar it has. Right? So US dollar will come only if you export. So industry is doing, as I said, a lot of R&D investment is done. What is that happening? Green hydrogen. So if you want to become in say automotive zone, if you want to become zero emission, you have to use technologies which are essentially generating less carbon. Now battery charging, I have seen few of the vehicles, they are being charged using generator which works on the fuel, petrol or diesel. So essentially your emission per se is zero, but to achieve that emission you are actually emitting a lot of petrol. So essentially we have to come into the picture where green hydrogen, AIML, blockchain, lot of papers, certificates we print, we stamp, we get attested. When I was a student like you, we have to get attested from the principal or notary, even for the admissions. With the blockchain, nothing, you have to just update, you will scan the QR code, it will be automatically checked through, verified from the original site. No need to carry, no need to submit any papers. Again, we save a lot of trees because we don't cut. Nanocarbons. So vehicles are coming up with nanocarbons, so the weight is reduced. The lower the weight, higher the efficiency. Solar rooftop, as we said on 22nd January, PM Modi said that there will be rooftop at every home. 1 kilowatt of rooftop generates about 20 units of power. So just imagine if every household puts it, then we may not have to have any Chandrapur power plant, which will cool down the Chandrapur area itself by 3 degrees in 1 year, if we stop doing the coal power plants. Vaccines, as I said, we are a lot of them. As you say, for COVID, a lot of vaccines were made in India, so there is a lot of investment that is done there. Capital investment, if you see, transportation, I was pleasantly surprised. Nagpur-Amravati road is far better than Nashik-Mumbai road. So there is a lot of investment which is being done for rail, air. If you see 5G, cloud, thanks to Jio, हर घर में, हर मोबाइल में 5G आने वाला है at a coming up cheap rate. So again, I said, most of this distributed technology will come from industries and not from the government. Defense manufacturing. Today, about 2018, we used to import maximum things. Today, we can officially say that we are about 20% we are exporting, and that we have to increase. That is possible only if we do a lot of capital investment. Power generation and distribution. As I said, power, hydrogen power, green power, which is coming up big time. We are reducing our coal dependency. Automobiles, there is a lot of capital investment is going on. I remember in 1985-86, people might be knowing from that generation, when there was only one car apart from Maruti was not there. If I book it, it used to take 7 years to get a vehicle. Can you imagine? If you book a two-wheeler Vespa, it used to take 7 and 8 years to get a Vespa from the date of payment. You book a telephone line, it used to take 15 years to get your telephone. All these have changed because industry is investing lot of things. I remember there was something called as Electronic Corporation of India, ECTV. Have you heard about this name? Now if you see on all the airports, they have got this scanning machine done by ECTV. So ECTV was one of the manufacturers for TV, and again it used to have 3 years of waiting. It used to have licenses. All these things have changed because industry is continuously pumping money in the capex, hoping that you all will support them in using it. Higher sustainability. Everything, every activity what we do is going to incur something from the mother nature. ज्याला आपण म्हणतो की तुम्ही गाडी, मी आता गाडीने आलो, गाडीतून emission झालं, which is going to create more carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. So essentially what we are targeting as a India is not even 247. 2070 is our target, that we want to be zero emission. What you mean by that is that you will not be achieving the zero emission. There will be still some things which will clear this, make the emission, but you will neutralize it. So you will generate more oxygen, which will compensate the emissions level. So we are targeting 500 gigawatts of power from typographical error, from non-fossil fuel. By 2030, we want to generate the power from non-fossil, that is renewable power. In 2021, India's consumption was 205 gigawatts. And essentially, if any of this has to come through, we have to exponentially, our requirement of power will be exponentially growing, which has to be again compensated by creating renewable power. So there is a lot of thrust which is being done on sustainability. Automate, robotize all hazardous activities, boiler inspection, chemical acid inspections, battery inspection, all this has to be robotized or automated so that minimum human intervention is required. As I said, another thing important is putting higher technological innovation implementation. Industrial IoT, we have already seen digital twin. If you want to teach your manpower how to set up or how to maintain an acid plant, you cannot afford to actually go them and work in hand. So you create a digital twin, right? Anybody heard this term, digital twin? Anybody heard this term, digital twin? From students particularly? No? Okay, let us break this too, because this is important. It's going to be a challenging in next 20 years. What do you mean by twin? Anybody? Sorry? Stand up and talk. I'm not able to hear. From students and those who are pursuing UG. Correction. Anybody? What is twin? Yes? Do similar things. करेक्ट. जुळं, ज्याला आपण मराठी भाषेत म्हणतो. दोन जुळे असतात ते म्हणतात सारखे दिसतात. एक्झॅक्ट सेम. सो नाउ डिजिटल ट्विन. Digital twin is using digital technologies. You are creating twin of a physical system, right? For example, तुम्ही गाडी आहे, so you create a digital twin of your vehicle. So then you can actually, if you want to learn how to replace a tire, puncture tire, you can actually put an AR/VR goggle and use the same technology to feel like it coming up. And why digital twin? Because then you will actually feel the weight of the tire. See, the target is not to just see it. Target is to feel it. Right? That is what we are talking about digital twin. So we have to implement those things. AI/ML for zero error. 3D printing. It will save a lot of time in your prototyping. Cognitive computing, as I said, behavioral pattern. How a human is going to take the decision, why not mimic it to make a more of a decision with a psychological intent behind it. As I said, higher exports is the one which is going to give a lot of money, particularly in defense, mobile, software, pharmaceuticals, jewelry. So do you know actually labs, you can actually grow diamonds in the labs? Has anybody heard this? Yes. So you can take a carbon seed, put it under high pressure, and there are certain gases, and over 8 days you can actually grow your own diamond in the lab. So that is where Surat is one of the most leading exporters by homegrown diamonds, and which is not very costly, mind you. It's much easy to put up one diamond unit. It costs about 20-25 lakhs. Automotive, refinery. So now the question is, how can you individually contribute to this? So what you are requested to be prepared of? Be creative. Think out of box solutions. Standard solutions are not going to be used anymore, right? Upskill. As I said, there are teachers, primary teachers who have never seen mobile in their life, laptop in their life, from rural areas, learned how to use PowerPoint, how to use internet, and teach the students. So they got upskilled. But then for you, it will be far, far better, far, far difficult, because it will be in very, very short term. Resilience. You've got to be adaptable. The technology is shifting so much, the focus is shifting so much, automation is coming, that now, if you see earlier, if you have visited the bank, there used to be 20 people at the counter, now the counter is reduced to 2. So a lot of automation has come up in the picture. So that is going to be one challenge where you need to adopt. Empathy. Now this is little different. Okay, can somebody tell me what is empathy? It's not sympathy, right? It's empathy. So sympathy everybody knows. What is empathy? Anyone? Anyone like to try? From background? So empathy means you have to also take into account others' opinion. Be collaborative. Because essentially now gone are the days where one person can run the entire shop or something. This is the place where there are so many different technologies which are coming involved that one person essentially will not be able to work. And here we are talking about cyber physical systems where there will be a robot and a human working in hand gloves at the same time without affecting each other. Hard work. There is no option. I mean, recently Narayan Murthy said that young people should work about 72 hours a week. So that's a hard work, nothing else. Disruptions are going to happen. Like COVID was a disruption, there will be many more in technology. I remember when the Jio came into the picture, minimum 3 companies, mobile companies, were wiped out of the India. What is that? Nothing but disruption. So UPI came into the picture and almost all the changes, gone, disruptions. So now it's fortunate for government that they need not print it anymore, but for it's a third party, it's a loss of business. And collaborate. Essentially, unless you collaborate, you will not be able to go beyond that. So to conclude, Amrutkal is not only about next 25 years. Amrutkal is we need to achieve those diameter by 47 and stay there. It's not about reaching peak by 247 and stay there. It's about leading the world and be torch bearer. We should be the ones who should show the entire world which the way forward, which our earlier mythology says or our own ancient script and stories says. We have to achieve that. And that's the target of Amrutkal. And essentially that is where you are required to develop these last skills when we saw in the previous slide to achieve all of these. And mind you, you will be the ones who will be getting the fruits of those high words. So, as I said, I come from defense background and I got a one simple question. Silly questions are always better than silly mistakes. Right? You commit mistakes on the ground and people pay very high price in the air. Right? So if you got any questions, or you're hungry, as the case may be. Anyone? Right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We are grateful that you have discussed about IEEE and AICT, that is Amrit Kal. We students will be the part of IEEE for sure. Your presence here today evaluates the significance of the event. Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request all the students to gather in Mahatma Gandhi Hall after 30 minutes break. Thank you. I would like to request all the students to gather in MG Hall for lunch break. All the registered students, I would like to request all of them to please gather in MG Hall for the lunch break.